Welcome to another episode of Antimatter Garage. For the handful of people that actually watch this channel, you may recognize this car. I'll just put down there while I talk. And you may see that there's some damage here. I'll move the camera around so that you can see the difference between damage and reflection. So what happened was I was driving along. There were two lanes, left lane, right lane. Lights are all green. The right lane's backed up because there's a lot of turns going on there. And I guess the guy in the right lane didn't want to be backed up, so he pulled into the left lane into the side of my car, which really sucked. Everybody makes mistakes, so I didn't really think it was that big of a deal, but the guy lost a lot of respect for me because I was hoping not to involve the cops. Didn't see any reason to, so I asked him point blank, like, can we agree you're responsible for this accident? And he said no. So we called the cops. And I don't know, when I asked the guy, like, okay, well, what do you think happened? He strung together 4 or 5 sentences that didn't really belong together. And I told him I didn't understand what he was saying. And then later, the cop came. I told him just what I told you. And he talked to the other guy, and I guess the other guy couldn't come up with a plausible explanation as to how it wasn't his fault. So the cop ticketed him. And I got a police report, but what I was really afraid of was that the car would be totaled. Because if you've seen this channel, you know that I've done a lot of work on this car. It has, it's a 1999 Toyota Solara V6 with a manual transmission. This is really cool. And it has 352,000 miles on it. So yeah, that's a lot. So I'll put the kilometers in the video. And that means it's not really worth very much. And so even though it's just really cosmetic damage, there was a chance it was going to be totaled. So if you don't live in Florida or America, or you don't know what that means is that they consider the car a total loss, and then usually they take the car and they pay you money for it, the kind of a going rate or something, and then you have to go and buy yourself a new car. But it's my firm opinion, and my wife's, that that is the best car ever made. Not Solara's, just that one that we got really lucky with, and we don't want to let it go. It's just, it does get boring, driving the same car around all the time, not changing, but it's just such a good car. We just can't get rid of it, and it's in great shape. The dashboard isn't cracked. So in Florida, it's really, really hot, and gets to be about 140 or 150 degrees Fahrenheit on a really bad day, and that has a tendency to cause the dashboard to crack and split. And after 23 years, it still hasn't done that, So the interior is really nice, the exterior is really good when it's all cleaned up, and we just can't imagine a car like this going to the crusher. So talked to the insurance company about that, and as it turns out, we squeaked in just under the wire, so they're paying for the damage. His insurance is paying for the damage, and they're even going to give me a rental car while it's being fixed. That's it. Kind of just an update. I just wanted to show you what had happened and explain, in case you happen to notice in another video why there's a big dent in the side of the car. But the good news is I've decided this is sort of a forever car for us. So I've decided at the same time that they fix the damage, we're just going to paint the entire car. So it will be like, new start, kind of. So you should be seeing more of the car on the channel. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot, because I know some of you will probably say that the insurance company tells you never to admit blame, which I can understand given today's society where everybody wants to sue. But that's okay, because he didn't actually have to say anything. So I was really happy the guy pulled over, and we didn't get in a yelling match or anything like that. I'm not super angry at the guy. I'm angry because I was afraid we were going to lose the best car we ever had. I'm really happy now that that's not the case. And I was really saddened, I looked at it and just thought, it's just so sad to lose a car over such little damage. It's really just cosmetic, At the time, that's what I believed would happen. But, he didn't have to say anything at all. He could have just refrained from talking, because after the highway patrol left, he came back over, he apologized, which was good, but then he proceeded to once again explain to me how he looked in his mirror and the guy pulled out, and he wanted to do the same, and he figured that guy's going 2 miles an hour. You could pull out in front of him really quick. He's protecting him from traffic, so they would pull out simultaneously. And his explanation for me was that I came out of nowhere. So I said, well, like Star Trek, I teleported in, right? You know, so he couldn't find a way. You know, it's human nature, and I actually understand it. It's human nature that people don't want to accept responsibility for the things they do wrong. And my personal philosophy on that is that I just lose a whole lot of respect for you when you do that. Like I said, if he didn't want to say anything, then he didn't have to say anything. He could just, I'll talk to the cop. That's it. You know, whatever, right? But no matter what, he couldn't just say, you know, look, I screwed up, made a mistake, and hit your car. Sorry about that, dude. And it happens. That's fine. And I had an accident once where a guy did that. He was a really sharp kid. I was a kid, he was a kid, and he rear-ended me. And it's kind of funny because afterward I got out and I literally got in the car like 20 minutes before. I literally picked it up and was driving it home. And he hit me, and I got out and looked at it. I was like yelling. I was just like, shit. I've learned a lot later in life. As you get older, you can fix these things. You know, I'm alive. He's alive. Everybody's alive. It's good, right? But then after I calmed down a little bit, you know, I went and talked to the guy, and he said, I knew you were going to be mad, so I wanted to let you simmer down. I thought that's pretty smart, you know. Actually, he was a really nice guy. I kind of wish we had kept in touch, you know. He would have made a good friend, I think, you know. So we had a little conversation while we were waiting for the cops to show up, right, you know. But this guy just, he just did not want to, you know, he just felt really strongly. It wasn't his fault somehow, you know, but I can't come up with any possible way where it wasn't. But you know, it doesn't matter. In the end, it's not cancer. You know, it's not the end of the world, right? It's a small thing. It's just a little bit of damage. His company's taking care of it, so it's going to cost us money to paint the rest of the car. But hey, we get a new paint job out of it, right? And it's not that big of a deal, really. But yeah, just wanted to say that in case anybody said, hey, you know, oh, he's not supposed to admit guilt. Yeah, you're right. Insurance company will tell you don't do that, and it could work out bad for you if you say, oh, it was all my fault, and then the guy sues you for hundreds of thousands of dollars or something. How are you going to back out of that? Totally get it, but zip it then, right? So, which is what I'm going to do.